Good morning. It's Tom Padula from TomPadulaTV on YouTube and the Insegna Booksellers. And this morning is an interesting one because we're going to repeat, last time, what did I said, did not record this, pressed wrong button. So we didn't record it last time. So this time I'm going to repeat Canto 24. And this is also program number 63. So here we go, Canto 24, program 63. And in my introduction this morning, I have a few considerations, because lately, for some reason, I'm having a lot of problems with the computer, the way I used to use it. Maybe there's too much information there, I'm not quite sure. But I'll do my best as usual, and, and looking into the future and say, what can I do to improve my systems here? Obviously, I need more flexibility with this live work on Facebook. So, in other words, I've said that I would come up at 11:25 to 12:30. Now, since I've completed the Italian lessons on Tuesdays, lessons 1 to 60, they are now on insegna.com blog section and YouTube as well, and of course Facebook and the other. So that's done. The World History 1 to 65 is also completed. And we stopped there from the beginning of time to Christopher Columbus' time, the 15th century, 1400s, 1400 to 1499. So that's the time frame that I've decided to stop there because at that time, because of the voyages by the navigators, the world, instead of being flat, it became round all at once. And it was proven to be so because people, were able to navigate the whole of the globe through the waters, and things became much easier. So that's a big consideration. But returning to my flexibility, I would like to continue with this work here, but live on Facebook. But because there aren't really many people who come on when I actually deliver it, I might as well retain my flexibility and produce these programs, these podcasts, when I can. In other words, I still do quite a few during the week, but, at different times of the day maybe, and will announce them at the beginning of each week, say, this week I feel like doing this and that, and we'll take it from there. There'll still be a structure to the whole thing, 5 minutes introduction, and then 1 hour dedicated to the program itself, whatever it is. So that's the consideration. The last bit was La Divina Commedia series will continue as usual on Sundays, but maybe I will also come, let's say, in the evening and do another canto, so that I want to speed up. My work with Dante Alighieri and have all these podcasts online, and then we can do a bit of a revision together, a study together of Dante, because it is such a rich source of information about the Middle Ages, but also previous classical times, and also very relevant for today and the future, because it talks about it's human life as it is lived on Earth, with a view of being part of the big universe under the control of the Almighty. So there is a religion there that needs to be appreciated. And we're not talking about, it also talks about the institutionalized religion, the power that the churches in general have, or, on behalf of the faith of their faithful, basically. And therefore, there is great responsibility. And if that responsibility is not worked at properly, Dante feels that the people within them, within the institutions of the church, should be punished as well. So that's the reason for Inferno, Purgatorio, and Paradiso. Purgatory now is the interesting one, because the souls are there because they have a hope of reaching paradise. Whereas in Inferno, it was, you did this punishment, you did not ask for forgiveness, because God is misericordioso, is charitable towards the people in general. He understands, but having given people their free will, then each person and each group of people, of course, are responsible for their own actions within the moral framework of the universe. Now, these are big concepts, of course, and they are important. They are important. So it's 11:30. I'm going to start, as I did, in past times. I'm going to start, and I will start basically with Purgatorio, Canto 24. A bit of a summary first. Okay. As Forese and Dante walk along, welcome to Tony Angiolino. As Forese and Dante walk along, Forese identifying some of his fellow penitents, Dante is approached by a poet named Bonagiunta of Lucca, who recognizes him as a practitioner of Il Dolce Stil Nuovo, the sweet new style, in Florence. Welcome to Angela Imola. After Forese continues on his way, Dante comes upon a second fruit tree near which penitents linger longingly. They look at the fruit, but they can't touch it. Because if they do, then they commit, this is the Canto dei Golosi, people who love food, too much. And therefore, la gola, sort of the throat, the eating part, the excesses, if you like, even excesses in when you get a position of power, for example, and you overuse it, you don't use it properly, that's a sin. That's a sin. So the sins come about from losing the balances between our moral being and our practical life. That's when things get, don't work very well. Okay, so Dante comes upon a second fruit tree near which penitents linger longingly. It's said to be an offshoot of the tree whose fruit once tempted Eve. A voice from the tree recites examples of gluttony. So gluttony is a sin, according to Dante. And if you recognize that, if the soul or the person recognize that as a sin and ask for forgiveness, say, then they get punished in Purgatorio. But in Purgatorio, the punishment is you cannot benefit from food or drink. Therefore, the body becomes emaciated, and there's no flesh around the skeleton, and therefore the face, those penitents are not easily recognizable. So therefore, people can mention them, their names, because it doesn't matter. You don't know who they are unless they tell you. So the people there who are mentioned, those penitents, and Dante's introduced to a few of them by name, they're happy for Dante to receive that information, because they know, they're very curious. Dante casts a shadow in Purgatorio. He says, what is this guy doing? He's brought his body here without, not allowed, of course. So he's a very special envoy from earth to paradise to show us the journey of the high moral being of being a religious practitioner, where the morality of all is valued and rewarded as well. The reverse, of course, there's the punishment. And if there's forgiveness, if you ask for forgiveness, then God will give it to you. But you have to be punished for the sins that you've committed. That's the purgatorio. Okay, so Bonaggiunta was a 13th century poet who was known for being a heavy drinker, hence his appearance in purgatory. The sweet new style, il dolce stil nuovo, was a popular poetic tradition in Dante's generation, which Dante develops in the Divine Comedy. So Dante is recognized as a leader of the dolce stil nuovo. Tempted by the fruit of the tree in the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve disobeyed God. So the appearance of a similar tempting tree in purgatory makes sense. Now, this analysis and summary, there's sort of, there isn't enough of it. It's just a very generic type of summary. C'est la vie, I can only use what there is there and what I understand myself as I read through this. So this is Canto 24, which follows, of course, the previous the previous canti, 23 and 22, the ones dedicated to i golosi, to gluttony. The people suffer from gluttony. And gluttony is not only for food, it's also for power. Interesting. Here we go. Né el dir né l'andar lui più lento facea, ma ragionando andavam forte siccome nave pinta da buon vento. So the two Forese and Dante were talking along, and they were engaging to each other, and the pace went along with, not nice, quick paced, but, they didn't interrupt the walk. They just kept on talking. E l'ombre, these are the penitents, che parean così rimorte, their eyes, etc., skeletons, their flesh had disappeared. Per le fosse degli occhi ammirazione traean di me, because he had a shadow, di mio vivere a corte. E io, continuando al mio sermone, dissi: ella sen va su forse più tarda che non farebbe per alcun cagione. Ma dimmi, Forese, se tu sai dove è Piccarde, that's his sister. Dimmi s'io veggio da notar persona tra questa gente che sì mi riguarda, amongst all these, tell me their names at least, because I don't recognize any of them. You can't. Including Forese too. He recognized him by his voice. La mia sorella, che tra bella e buona, non so qual fosse più. Was she more bella than buona? I think she was both. Trionfa lieta nell'alto limpo già di sua corona. So la corona, that good people can wear, the crown, paradise. So Piccarda is in paradise. She was such a beautiful and good woman. Si disse prima, e poi, that's what he said first, qui non si vieta di nominar ciascun, da che si munta nostra sembianza via per la dieta. So, we don't mind telling you the names of the people here, whoever you're interested in, because it's not forbidden, here, because you can't recognize us anyway. So unless we tell you, you're not going to know. Questi, e mostrò col dito, è buona giunta da Lucca. E quella faccia di là da lui più che l'altra strapunta ebbe la Santa Chiesa in le sue braccia. Dal torso fu e purga per digiuno l'anguilla di Bolsena e la vernaccia. And this is another person here that was from the church. So one was, I think the other one was Torso. We'll get to him anyway. So this one here, one was Bonaggiunta, well-known drink, etc., but he also was a poet as well. And the other one was a religious leader who loved l'anguille de Bolsena, the eels of Bolsena cooked, in good wine, etc., and la vernaccia, and the wine from Liguria, white wine. Molti altri mi nomò ad uno, so he named many others one by one. E del nomar parean tutti contenti, and they were all happy that they were nominated. Sicch'io però non vidi un atto bruno, so I didn't see anything else. Vidi per fame a voto usar li denti, Ubaldin della Pila e Bonifazio, che pasturò col Rocco molte genti. Again, these people here, Bonifacio was a pope as well, and he loved a good life. So he got punished for it, but, obviously if they're in Purgatorio, they must have recognized their own sins. Vidi Messer Marchese, che ebbe spazio già di bere a Forlì con mensechezza. So this Marchese, again, he loved this drink. He didn't like it to be too dry. He just kept on, enjoying himself. E si fu tal che non ti sentì sazio. So he could, even though he kept on drinking, he could never feel like he was satiated. In other words, he had enough. He could never have enough. A sin, you got to have enough. Ma come fa chi guarda e poi s'apprezza più d'un che d'altro, fei a quel da Lucca che più parea di me aver contezza. So this Bonaggiunta. El mormorava, e non so che gentucca is another character, gentucca, gente di Lucca, could be, but apparently this gentucca was, si udiva della sua labbra, she was, sarebbe gentucca morla di Lucca, so an actual person. Sentì io là, ovvel sentia la piaga della giustizia che si lipilucca. So the justice, the divine justice, lipilucca, takes the hair out, sort of thing. In other words, they're being punished for their sins. O anima, dissi io, che parsi vaga di parlar meco, fa sì che io ti intenda, e te e me col tuo parlare appaga. Let's talk about now, apart from these people here, let's talk about us. Femmina nata e non porta ancor benda, cominciò el, che ti farà piacere la mia città, come la riprenda. So when Dante was exiled, he went to Lucca, and Lucca had a very bad name as a city. But in Dante's experience, this femina, this wife of Forese, I think that's his wife, she was very nice to him. And he did not forget the niceness, the way he had been treated. So Dante said, this person here is actually, I can forgive Lucca for for all the bad things they are renowned for because of her. So it's the idea of resurrection, if you like. So the women here are made to seem they can't commit sins. Whereas all the guys are sort of, they all do the wrong thing. And even though they ask for forgiveness, they still have to be punished, and they were. Ok, so come on, tu te ne andrai con questo antivedere. In other words, you will go, and when you get back to earth, you'll remember us. Questo antivedere, it's sort of telling the future. Se nel mio mormorar prendesti errore, dichiareranti ancora le cose vere. So when they were young and they were together, Dante and Forese, they exchanged notes about poetry, and Bonaggiunta was part of all that as well. So we're talking about here the existence of new literature as it develops at the beginning of the Rinascimento, of the Renaissance. I said it's called Il Dolce Stil Nuovo, for which Dante was renowned. So it wasn't about the women of the past that were put on a pedestal, and it wasn't the women of the people themselves there amongst, they were real women, but they were still looked upon with great respect. It's sort of, when you do that, they didn't count politically. They couldn't own property. They were a property of their father and husband during the Middle Ages. So, tu te ne andrai con questo antivedere, se nel mio mormorar prendesti errore, dichiareranti ancora le cose vere. Ma dissi veggio qui colui che fuori trasse le 9 rime, cominciando, donne che avete intelletto d'amore. There you are. Bonaggiunta says, who's this guy here? Do I recognize Dante? Ed io a lui, io mi son un che quando amor mi ispira, noto è a quel modo che ditta dentro vos significando. So as a poet, Dante says, yes, it's me, the one who said, donne che avete intelletto d'amore, women who have the intellect of love. He said, yes, the Dolce Stil Nuovo is part of my work. And yes, it is me. Okay, it is me. Again, I repeat, these sort of canti, they really need a lot of work in order to fully understand each image that Dante offers to us. Okay, so here we continue now. O frate, issa veggio, disselli, il nodo che il notaro è Guittone, e me ritenne di qua dal dolce stil nuovo chiodo. So this notaro and Guittone d'Arezzo, they were the people who wrote about poetry. They came from the Provençal school, la scuola Provençal. In other words, the poetry that referred to le grandi dame, the chivalrous times. The past seemed to be such a wonderful place because they didn't talk about reality, basically. But with il Dolce Stil Nuovo, di notare Guittone d'Arezzo, il notario Jacopo da Lentini, I've talked about him before, and also Guittone d'Arezzo. So both were put aside by the time Dante arrived. Their leadership was lost. Like in politics, the new government comes in. So a new wave of literary writing occurred after them. Ok, so in this, and he says, io veggio ben che come le vostre penne di retro al dittatore se van strette, che delle nostre certo non avvenne, e qual più a gradire oltre si mette, non vedo più dell'uno e l'altro stile. So we've overcome all that. E quasi contentato si tacette come gli augei che vernano lungo il Nilo. And so, and then after the soul said that, he said he went quiet, come gli augei, like the birds that fly over the Nile. That's, Dante's, you have to understand the way he thinks with all his images from the past and outside of Italy, etc. He was a very erudite man. Alcune volte in aereo fanno schiera, poi volano più a fretta e vanno in filo. Così tutta la gente che lì era, volgendo il viso, raffrettò il suo passo e per magrezza e per voler leggera. So all the people around, sort of decided once this guy went, then the others followed like birds, when they rise and they fly away. And so they went away. And so Dante and Forese, Estazio and Virgilio, they remained behind, the three of them. È come l'uomo che di trottare l'asso lascia andare i compagni e si passeggia finché si sfoghi l'affollar del casso, si lasciò trapassare la santa greggia forese e dietro meco se veniva dicendo quando fia ch'io ti riveggia. When will I see you next? Said Forese. And Dante replies, non so, risposi io a lui, quanto io mi viva, ma già non fia il tornar mio tantosto, ch'io non sia col voler prima alla riva. Però che loco fui a viver posto, di giorno in giorno più di ben si spolpa e a triste ruina par disposto. So again, the reference to the bad times of now says, when will I see you next? I don't know when I'm going to come back. Ciao, sort of thing. Or va, disse, he said, oh, well, go, che quei che più una colpa, vegg'io a coda d'una bestia tratta in ver la valle e ove mai non si scolpa. La bestia, this is Corso Donati. Corso Donati, he was the brother of one of the woman that we mentioned before. But he committed gluttony, sins of gluttony, and therefore he was punished by, I think there was a horse that, split him up into many parts. But of course, once you get to Purgatorio, you still have your body, sort of thing. Well, we'll see. La bestia ad ogni passo va più ratto, goes quickly, crescendo sempre finch'ella il percuote e lascia il corpo vilmente disfatto. So the body was vilmente disfatto, was a bad death. Non hanno molto a volgere quelle ruote, e drizzò gli occhi al ciel che ti fia chiaro ciò che il mio dir più dichiarar non può. Accanto agli animò, tu ti rimani ormai che il tempo è caro, that's Virgilio would say, time is precious, don't waste time, sort of thing. In questo regno, not even here, time is precious. Sì che io perdo troppo venendo teco sia paro a paro. So you cannot join him, sort of thing. That's it. Qual esce alcuna volta di galoppo lo cavalier di schiera che cavalchi e va per farsi onor del primo intoppo, tal si partì da noi con maggior valchi. So he went away pretty fast. E io rimasi in via con esso i due, con Virgilio e Stazio, che fuor del mondo sì gran marescalchi. Ok? Da cui maresciallo però di origine germanica. Okay, so they were the people above him that were his guides, basically. E quando innanzi a noi intratto fu, che gli occhi miei si fero a lui seguaci, come la mente alle parole sue, parvermi i rami gravidi e vivaci d'un altro pomo, So they see another big tree, un altro pomo. That's a tree, an apple tree, a big one. E non molto lontani per essere pur allora volto in laci. Vidi gente sottesso, so he saw more people under this second tree. Alzar le mani e gridare non so che verso le fronde quasi bramosi, fantolini e vani che pregano e il pregato non risponde, ma per far essere ben la voglia acuta tiene alto l'ordisio e non nasconde. So these are, I should really show you, I think there is a picture here, I'll show it to you. I think there is. If I can show it to you, I will. Just so, pardon me, 1 second. Let me see, because I thought I saw the beginning of this. No, that's one. Yes, here we go. Let me not stuff up now. Okay. See, this is where Dante came from. Yeah. These are the souls, see that? And then once it's buona giunta, and then once that's done, it comes to a second one, the three of them here. And this is the tree, the big tree. And they're looking up, the souls, and they are desiring pomo, the apples, but cannot have them. But the tree itself represents a gift, because it gives them hope. Because he says, all right, we can't have you now, but because of you, because we are being penitents in purgatorio, we're going to get to you. So il tempo, the time is precious. So in order to achieve, the entrance to paradise, they have to expiate the sin. Therefore, they can't touch anything at all. They have to remain in hunger, if you like, because that's a punishment for gluttony. And that hunger will be the element that will give them the passage to paradise. So saphanea for future gain. It's almost like, some people say, live by the day and enjoy every day. Well, if you do that, then you must be happy every day. So you will not need, there won't be a road to paradise, because you're stuck in a bubble. So you have to look up and say, how can I, make amends for my sins? So if you say, I think I recognize I've done that, I'll go to purgatorio and then the passage up. Ok, e so quando innanzi a noi entrato fu, che gli occhi miei si fero a lui seguaci, come la mente alle parole sue, parvermi i rami gravidi e vivaci d'un altro pomo, e non molto lontani per essere pur allor volto in laci. Vidi gente sottesso alzar le mani e gridar non so che verso le fronde quasi bramosi, fantolini e vani che pregano, e il pregato non risponde. They're asking for whatever, but there's no answer. Ma per fare essere ben la voglia acuta, but to make them wanting even more to reach paradise quicker, tiene alto l'ordisio, it keeps their desire very high e non nasconde. And they cannot hide it. So they start singing, you know, about justice and, you know, God is forgiving, etc. And we deserve it, that sort of thing. Poi si partì siccome ricreduta, a noi venimmo al grande arbore adesso, che tanti prieghi a lacrime rifiuta. Trapassate oltre, senza farvi presso, legno è più su che fu morso da Eva, e questa pianta si levò da esso. So, this is, go past here, don't wait here, don't waste your time, you know, go quick. Sì, tra le frasche non so chi diceva, perché Virgilio, Stagio e io, ristretti, oltre andavamo dal lato che si leva. So they went past, and the other ones were giving examples of what you do to fight gluttony. Some good examples. So from the tree came the, you know, voices that said, yeah, if you do it this way, you know, you won't fall into this particular sin. So go away, you three, and go to the next girone. Ricordivi, diceva, di maledetti, nei nuvoli formati che satolli tesi a combattere con doppi petti, e degli ebrei che al versi mostrar molli, perché noi volle Gedeon compagni, quando in Vermedian discese i colli. Well, here we go into Greek mythology and Hebrew, Judaism, you know, Judea in the old times. So the examples from those times. Si accostati all'un di due vivagni, passammo udendo colpe della gola, seguite già da miseri guadagni. So, le colpe della gola. So, they were saying, these are what you do to avoid le colpe della gola. You know, you gluttony. Poi rallargati per la strada sola, ben 1000 passi e più di portar oltre, contemplando ciascun senza parola. So we just kept on walking. Che andate pensandosi voi sol tre? Subito voce disse, onde io mi scossi come fan bestie spaventate, e portate, what's going on there? Yes, sort of, drizzai la testa per vedere chi fosse, e già mai non si videro in fornace vetri o metalli lucenti e rossi, come io vidi un che diceva, se a voi piace montare in su, qui si conviene dar volta, qui ci si va, chi vuole andare per pace. Says, if you come here, but Dante, when he saw this, it was, of course, another angel. But this time there was so much light that actually Dante becomes blind from the light, and he doesn't realize what's happening. He says, ero scosso. And of course he loses another P because he's going to the next level. So the blindness, he can't see the angel, but he's been given another push forward. L'aspetto suo m'aveva la vista tolta. Aveva la vista tolta, perché io mi volsi dietro ai miei dottori, the other two, Virgil and Stazio, come uomo che va secondo che li ascolta, following them, asking them what's going on. E quale annunziatrice degli albori, Laura di maggio muovesi e orezza, tutta impregnata dell'erba e da fiori. The next place, there is this beautiful smell, perfume, you know, the air, and Dante becomes even lighter as he moves forward. Why? Because he's further and further behind. He is leaving the sins behind, and he's approaching now, close to paradise. After the next canto, there's il paradiso terrestre. So we've got a couple more canti, and then we're going to the part where I'm interested in this too, where the souls are finally rewarded. Ok, E quale annunziatrice degli albori, Laura di maggio, muovesi e olezza, tutta impregnata dall'erbe e da fiori, tal mi sentì un vento dar per mezza la fronte, e ben sentì muover la piuma, che fe sentir d'ambrosia o d'ambrosia l'orezza, e sentì dir, beati cui alluma tanto di grazia, che l'amor del gusto nel petto lor troppo di sir non fuma. So, la frase quando è giusto non, meglio si intende solo di ciò che è giusto. So, in other words, if you want gluttony, don't go there with it, but feel the power of just living. We live in justice, moral. You follow the moral line that that Christ brought to earth, and he decided that he would, he would show people the way forward. In other words, when things are really, really bad, he did miracles, etc. But then he also was crucified and then he forgave them, and then he was resurrected. Now, that's the way, sort of living. That's the way to live. You put up with anything that comes, that is bad and comes your way, and then those very things that will make you have a bad time will be the ones that will give you the opportunity to then redefine yourself and move forward into moral living and forgiveness and, of course, the enjoyment of a good life. So, beati cui alluma tanto di grazia, che l'amor del gusto nel petto, amor del gusto nel petto, lor troppo di sir non fuma, e suriendo sempre quanto è giusto. So, okay? That's the end. There's some notes here. There's lots and lots of notes. I keep on saying, if you really want to learn Dante, and you have to do what I'm doing now, you have to read it. This is the book. One of them. There are hundreds of them. But I've got some of these ones here, and that's where I am sort of enjoying myself reading it and reading the notes. But, in half an hour, it's 11:07, I have to move on. Even though I think I'm in trouble today because my computer doesn't cooperate. I don't know what's going on here with my computer. I have to use my other phone to make you happy. But it's okay. I'll manage, as I usually do. So we'll see what happens. Okay, now I will be preparing for the next one. Here it is. And yes, I have to go. Just give me a chance to identify. Here we are. I will do these ones here. It's okay. I think we'll be all right. Okay. Now, I want my books. Where are they? Just one second. All right. There are two poems that I'm going to read from Tom Padula, Amica Poesia number 2. Now, the second book, I've got plenty of copies of this one here, of Poetry My Friend 2, but the Italian ones I don't have. No. So here we go. Sala di ricevimento, and then I'll read to you in English. Accompagnato a Rio Vista non c'è Joe, aspetto, that's Joe Maggio in Swan Hill. Sorry. Guardo i preparativi, sono pronto, tutto in ordine. Arrivano il fotografo, i produttori del video, i componenti dell'orchestra. Momento teso, ansioso, preoccupante, ma calmo. La quiete prima della festa. And prima della festa, I need to have a drink. Excuse me again. Okay. Ecco i primi invitati, la mamma con la bottiglia da riscaldare per il bebè, l'uomo che chiede qual è il suo posto e poi invitati più numerosi, buonasera, sorrisi, cordialità, il cocktail, la firma sul registro, la ricerca del tavolo, la confusione, prima atmosfera, il piccolo sbaglio, la mancanza di comunicazione, le piccole richieste, sono tutti seduti, siamo quasi tutti pronti. Organizzo il corteo, nuziale of course, i familiari, il compare, la comare, le damigelle, i cavalieri, gli sposi e i paggetti. Annuncio l'entrata, tutti in piedi, benvenuto agli invitati da parte dei Padula e degli Attardo. Those were the two families. Entrano i genitori, nonne, fratelli e sorelle, ecco gli sposi, musica per l'occasione. Il nastro ai paggetti, le forbici agli sposi, l'Ave Maria. Luci per il video, flash di foto, il taglio del nastro, auguri, coro di Fodaira, jolly good couple, brindisi, buon appetito. That's how the Italian weddings used to start. According to my programs at the time, I used to write the program, and we tried to fit in all the requirements by the two families. Reception hall. Accompanied to Rio Vista, Joe is not there. Joe is the caterer, Joe Maggio. I wait, I look at the preliminaries, I'm ready, for everything's in order. They arrive, a photographer, video producers, members of the band, a tense, anxious moment, worrying but calm. The quiet before the party. Here comes the first guests. The mother with the bottle to hit up for the baby. The man who asks for his place. Then more numerous the guests. Good evening, smiles, cordiality, cocktail, signatures on the registry, the inquiry for the table, confusion, first atmosphere, the small error, lack of communication, the small requests, they are all seated, we are almost ready. I organise the wedding party, family members, best men and matron of honour, bridesmaids and groomsmen, bride and groom, flower girl and page boy. I announce the entrance, all upstanding. Welcome to the guests on behalf of the Padula and the Attardo families. Enter the parents, grandparents, brothers and sisters. Here are the bride and groom, music for this occasion. Ribbon to the page boy and flower girl, scissors to the bride and groom, the Ave Maria. Video lights, flash for the photos, the cutting of the ribbon, best wishes, choir, for they are a jolly good couple, toast, have a good meal. So that's the first meal for the night is served. Now I'll read you the dinner in English this time, and then I'll read you the Italian after. Hors d'oeuvre already on the table, music entertains the evening, lasagna, floor show by Sam, everything smooth, service to the band so that they can, I used to organize them first so that they could get back to the music. Preparations for the first dance, streamers in hand, the wedding party, and circles the bride and groom on the dance floor. Lights, flashes, applauses, I open the dance, go, have a good evening. And I think I left it there, then I didn't continue, but there was quite a bit more for the dinner, because then after the dinner they used to serve, about 10 o'clock, they used to serve supper as well. And then, the cake and the couple had to go and change, come back, quite a bit. This one here is il pranzo. Antipasto già sul tavolo, la musica allieta la serata, lasagne, floor show di Sam, tutto liscio, il pranzo all'orchestra, preparazione per il primo ballo, stelle filanti in mano, il corteo nuziale circonda gli sposi in pista, le luci, i flash, gli applausi, apro il ballo, via, buon divertimento. Beautiful. And that's how it is, with this. Now I am going to enjoy myself by playing the music that I went to see Dora and Rena last week, and I thought, well, okay, since we missed out here, we're going to go to them, and we're going to play. We're going to see whether I can play nicely. Okay, here we go. We are. There's Dora and Rena. Okay, there we are. First one. Hold on. Excuse me. We needed it because we want to celebrate Australia, but we're going to do some songs first, and then we'll give you an Australian one that we know, okay? Yeah. So, happy Australia Day to everyone. Yeah. And the 26th of January, I just want to repeat it here, that I think it's so important, and it was beautiful to see today that people are celebrating and sometimes also commiserating for this date. This is an important date because this is when modern Australia began. Therefore, I think there should be really, I feel there should be 3 days of celebration.
Renaissance of Australia.
Yes, the beginning, and then the colonials, and then everyone else comes after, 1 day each. Or, like some people are doing today, we're mixing it all up as a celebration on the day, on the 26th. So, it was lovely to see people gathering all over Australia today on television for this. And today we're going to celebrate our coming to Australia by doing some Italian songs and also an Australian one that Dora knows very well. We might try another 1 or 2, but we'll see how we go. Okay, so happy Australia Day. Good. This is Choral Improviso, another one of the, another program of 12 songs, and this is number 7. We've done 1 to 6 so far, and this is now, we'll start with Sarà perché ti amo. Okay, we got. 2 of them are coming to Australia, Ricchi e Poveri. So this is for them. They're coming in October, apparently.
The other 2.
Okay, so let's start. This is Ricchi e Poveri. Che confusione sarà perché ti amo, è un'emozione che cresce piano piano, stringimi forte e stammi più vicino, se ci sto bene sarà perché ti amo, io canto il ritmo del dolce tuo respiro, è primavera, sarà perché ti amo, cade una stella, ma dimmi dove siamo, che te ne frega, sarà perché ti amo, e vola, vola si sta, sempre più in alto si va, e vola, vola con me, il mondo è matto perché se l'amore non c'è, basta una sola canzone per far confusione, fuori e dentro di te, e vola, vola si va, sempre più in alto si va, e vola, vola con me, il mondo è matto perché se l'amore non c'è, basta una sola canzone che fa confusione fuori dentro di te, ma dopo tutto cosa c'è di strano? È la canzone, sarà perché ti amo, se cade il mondo, allora ci spostiamo, se cade il mondo, sarà perché ti amo, stringimi forte e stammi più vicino, è così bello che non mi sembra vero, se il mondo è matto, che cosa c'è di strano, matto del matto, almeno noi ci amiamo, e vola, vola si sta, sempre più in alto si va, e vola, vola con me, il mondo è matto perché se la amore non c'è, basta una sola canzone per far confusione fuori e dentro di te. E vola, vola si va, sarà perché ti amo. E vola, vola con me e stammi più vicino. E se amore non c'è, ma dimmi dove siamo, che confusione, sarà perché ti amo. Good. I'm too scared to change here. This next song, find the other way around. Set, anyway. Is Testarda Io, La mia solitudine, sung by Iva Zanicchi. Now, this is a very difficult song and sung by an incredibly talented singer in Italy. We're going to try it this afternoon. Please forgive, but we don't forgive because we are doing these things in order to introduce the songs, because for the benefit of the lyrics, because people do the same songs all the time. So by introducing new material, they can use these choral improviso type of programs for themselves. I'm happy if they pick it up almost as we play them and play them in halls, etc. So choral improviso for you on Australia Day, a gift to you.
And for you too, because you're producing it, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Good.
Here we go. Dora, Rino, Testarda Io, La mia solitudine.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start. Maybe Dora can start.
Non so mai che dico sempre sì, Testarda io che ti sento più di così,
E intanto porto i segni dentro me, per la tua strana follia, per la mia gelosia. La mia solitudine sei tu, la mia rabbia vera sei sempre tu. Ora non mi chiedere perché, se a testa bassa vado via per ripicca senza te. Io per orgoglio io ti salverei, e dei tuoi miti cosa ne farei? E intanto porto i segni dentro me di un amore che ormai vive solo dentro me. La mia solitudine sei tu, la mia rabbia vera sei sempre tu. Ora non mi chiedere perché, se a testa bassa vado via per ripicca senza te. Ti manderei all'inferno, questo sì, Testarda io che ti sento più di così. E intanto porto i segni dentro me, per la tua eredità, per la mia fatalità. La mia solitudine sei tu, la mia rabbia vera sei sempre tu. Ora non mi chiedere perché, se a testa bassa vado via per ripicca senza te. La mia solitudine sei tu, l'unico mio figlio ancora tu. Ora non mi chiedere perché, se a testa bassa vado via per ripicca senza te. Well, that was all right. We'll see what next one brings. The third song of the first set of number 7, coro all'improvviso, is Gira l'amore, caro bebè, made famous by Gigliola Cinquetti. Now, here they talk about I biondine, etc. So it's really a song to be sung by a young singer. Okay, so Gira l'amore, and it's beautiful, a very beautiful song, and enjoy it. Okay, Gira l'amore, caro bebè. Here we go.
Here we go, gira l'amore, caro bebè. Il grillo canta solo per amore, la pioggia canta quando il fiore muore, è bello il fiume quando l'acqua è scura, ma questo l'uomo non lo pensa mai. Sapete perché? Il mondo va, perché intorno al mondo gira l'amore, e allora com'è? Oh mamma dimmi tu, avevo un bel biondino e adesso non l'ho più. Caro bebè, tu non lo sai, chi non ha soldi non naviga mai. Caro bebè, la verità è una farfalla che viene e che va. Col cuore tu non spegni una candela, ma puoi buttare all'aria un grande amore. La guerra fa suonare le campane, ma questo l'uomo non lo pensa mai. Sapete perché? Il mondo va, perché intorno al mondo gira l'amore. Allora com'è? Oh mamma dimmi tu, avevo un bel biondino e adesso non l'ho più. Caro bebè, tu non lo sai, chi non ha soldi non naviga mai. Caro bebè, la verità è una farfalla che viene e che va. Mi disse non pensarci bambina, la vita è una speranza che cammina. Nel cuore ti ho lasciato una stella, cammina che la strada si fa bella. Sapete perché? Il mondo va, perché intorno al mondo gira l'amore. E allora com'è? Oh mamma dimmi tu, che il grillo del mio cuore per me non canta più. Caro bebè, tu non lo sai, chi non ha soldi non naviga mai. Caro bebè, la verità è una farfalla che viene e che va. Caro bebè, tu non lo sai, chi non ha soldi non naviga mai. Caro bebè, la verità è una farfalla che viene e che va. Caro bebè, tu non lo sai, chi non ha soldi non naviga mai. Caro bebè, la verità è una farfalla che viene e che va.
That's not bad at all, actually. Those were the first three songs of Coral Improviso. I'm going to try something here to turn it around, but I might stuff it up, so I'll just keep going. I want before I play the next lot, I want to mention that in the future here on Tom Padula Live on Facebook, I will come on at different times of the day to suit me a little bit more, because I want to do other things as well, and I don't want to lock precise times, because most people are actually coming on to my podcasts, to these presentations, after I finish with them. They listen to them when they're cooking, or different times. So at the moment, there are quite a few people that come on afterwards, and not many people who actually follow me whilst I'm doing it live. I know it's good. I'll still keep the times 11:25 to 12:30 for when I can. But if I want to do something during the afternoon, etc., I will be able to do that. Let's not forget that I've finished with lessons 1 to 60 of Italian lessons on Tuesday, and lessons or podcasts or presentations 1 to 65, the Thursday one. So I'm free on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but I want to do some things during those times when I can, because I have other things as well. So just keep an eye on it and come back to me maybe once a day on my on my Facebook page to check out what I put up, because I intend to do different topics, and I'll keep them to a series, say lesson 1 or podcast 1, 2, 3, 4, but they don't have to be once a week. It can be any time. And I was thinking for Dante, I might do a couple of them in a week rather than wait until next week, etc. So I'll be able to finish off the Purgatorio and then start with Paradiso and finish the whole lot earlier, and then start the revision again. But the revision can be on a more personal level in some of the Italian clubs of Melbourne. We can have little groups of people somewhere who are interested in the reading of Dante Alighieri. If you are, that's my intention, is to actually popularize. I know that Dante is very, very popular, but not many people have read the whole lot, and very few people can actually read it in Italian, let alone then explain it in English. And I have difficulties, covering everything because of the extreme number of notes that you need for interpreting Dante's Canti. Okay? We'll just do, it's 12:29, it's almost finished. Should I bother you with the next lot? Or maybe, I did 3 this week, I'll do the next 3 next time. I'll do the next 3 songs next time. In the meantime now, I would like to thank you very much for your patience and your support over time. And I look forward to 2023 because a lot of things have developed as a result of the work that I put in 2022. And tomorrow, in fact, on Wednesday, I'll be starting lessons in French, Italian at the University of the Third Age, and I'm hoping in semester number 2. I'll do world history as well. So on that note, I'm quite happy today. I've had problems again with the computers. I apologise. There's nothing I can do. Every time I come here, I think everything works well at the beginning, and then something goes wrong, something comes up. Today, the computer just went restarted. There was an error in the computer. We'll restart it. When I came back, I couldn't get it. So patience is the key. Can't blame the computers because they are our helpers. So I thank them as well. Okay, on that note, ciao, until next week, next time for Canto 25 of Dante's Purgatorio. From TomPadula, here from TomPadulaTV on YouTube, and of course Insegna Booksellers. Ciao, have a great day. Bye-bye.